Hi, this is Sade,
And Danielle.
and our hot topic is on teacher shortage and retention.
All right, so I'm going to do teacher retention. According to the LA Times, within a new teacher's first 5 years, 17% of teachers quit. Teacher retention involves teachers staying in one school for a number of years. Oftentimes, retention rates are impacted due to multiple factors. The factors that I'm going to talk about today are high poverty schools, high minority schools, urban schools, and lack of teacher support.
Teacher shortage. According to the California Teachers Association, or the CTA, in the next 10 years, California will need to hire 100,000 new teachers. The shortage of teachers is due to several factors: low teacher compensation, large class sizes, older teachers retiring, and the recession that occurred around 2008.
All right, so teacher retention. Reasons why teachers leave. A lot of the times, teachers move from high poverty schools to middle class schools, high minority schools to low minority schools, urban schools to suburban schools, and at those high poverty, high minority, and urban, there's a lack of teacher support and resources. So they move to the middle class, low minority, and suburban schools for more support, resources, and actually a higher salary. Importance of retention. Recruiting and training new teachers costs America roughly $2 billion each year, according to the LA Times. Teacher retention is crucial for staff and students. Having a teacher work in the same school allows stronger relationships to be built between staff as well as the students. The students won't have as much respect or they won't like a teacher as much if they're constantly in and out of the classroom, if they're changing teachers throughout the year, or even if it's like a revolving door each year. The students aren't gonna have as good of a relationship as that teacher as maybe one who's been there for a while and they're familiar with. And the longer the teacher stays, the more knowledge and experience they will obtain and be able to utilize in order to help students be successful. All right, so how can we increase retention? Districts often find they can help with retention by offering teacher support. There are new teacher trainings, which at my school, my principal is very supportive. She will email me every time there is a new teacher training, so I can go to them. They are during the week, so I do have to get a sub, but she does that for us. And then these trainings help us with the curriculum that we're not too familiar with or anything like that. And then there are conferences, which are usually out of town and there for a couple of days. And this is where you really focus in on one thing. I've been to an Avid conference where all I did for 3 days was focus on Avid strategies and how to help my students be more organized and get college and career ready. I've been to a math conference where all I did for 2 days was, I'm a fifth grade teacher, so all I did was focus in on fractions and how I can help my students with fractions and new strategies and fun things to do with them. There are also conferences on just classroom management, like Kagan, or conferences on just technology where you can learn new software and things to do with your students. Then there's the induction programs. So new teachers have to go through the induction program. I'm going through BITSA right now, beginning teacher support and assessment. This is where you are paired with a veteran teacher in the district. Oftentimes it is with the teacher that is at the same grade level as you. And they help you go through the cycles of BITSA. And it's just strategies and things you learn to become a better teacher. And then there are mentor teachers at your actual school district who help you with your curriculum and where you should be at in the year at this time with like planning and stuff. Then there's administration support. And at my school, my principal will come in and observe me and tell me things I'm doing well and things I need to work on. And she really gives me good feedback. Another way to increase retention is allowing teachers to be a part of decision making. So having them have a say in what's going on in the classroom instead of people who aren't in the classroom, like the government. And then providing paid time for planning with staff. New teachers are notorious for staying late at school because it's so new to them, all this planning and things they have to do for their students, and they're not really too familiar with the curriculum a lot of the time, and they have to find ways to help their students. And then another way to increase retention is allowing teachers to teach at the age or grade they are passionate about. People go through the schooling for teaching, and they a lot of times know what grade they want or around what age they want. And if you want like first grade and then you get hired and you're put into a fourth or fifth grade classroom, it could be a big change for you, and you weren't planning on that, and all your schoolwork wasn't focused toward that grade, so it could be hard for those teachers.
Teacher shortage. This is a quote directly from the California Teachers Association on their website. It says, CTA believes all teacher recruitment and retention efforts must begin with the recognition of the complexity of teaching. We must pay teachers a salary comparable to other professions. We must provide them with a safe working environment. Teachers must be treated like professionals and have a voice in classroom decisions. We must give teachers the time they need to plan and confer with their colleagues and provide beginning teachers the mentors and professional development they need. We must also reduce class size so teachers can devote more time to each student. So having this on the CTA website, they're aware of our shortage, and they know the things that need to happen so that we don't have a teacher shortage and so that teachers do want to stay in the school. So I thought it was really powerful that this is something that they posted. How is California impacted by the teacher shortage? Nearly 1/3 of the teachers in California are over 50 years old. This means that retirement will play a huge role in the near future, and they're going to need to replace all 1/3 of those teachers that are retiring. High poverty schools face a hard time filling teacher positions, and this causes larger class sizes. And districts often hire teachers after the school year has started. Teachers hired after the school year tend to have a higher chance of leaving the position. I know Danielle was one of the people who got hired in October once her school year had started last year.
It was so hard.
It was really difficult. You're not there when the school year starts. So I know currently at my district we're still hiring for teachers, and that means that those extra classrooms, they have to be filled in other classes. So we have higher class sizes because we don't have enough teachers. How can we manage the shortage? Providing teachers with support will make a huge difference. Making it more affordable for young people and people looking to change careers to become teachers. Reevaluating the testing system, meaning all of the tests and things that we have to go through just to get into the classroom. It seems like we have several testing things that we need to do. The CSETs and CBEST and RECA and all the TPAs. It can be very overwhelming for someone who may want to become a teacher. You have to do all these things just to even get your preliminary credential. And then you get your credential and you're in the classroom, and you have to go through the induction program, and you have to do observations with your principal. You have to have school observations. You have to teach for 5 years before your credential is even cleared. So it could be very overwhelming for someone who wants to become a teacher. They look at this long list of things that they have to do, and they may not want to go through all of that. Providing incentives for young people for people going back to school to enter the teaching profession. There are some programs out there, like the teacher loan forgiveness, but there's still a lot of restrictions on that. So I think allowing incentives for people who want to become teachers may increase the enrollment rate, and people may want to take that path. And then providing support through induction, mentor teachers, trainings, and professional development. I am one of those teachers who changed schools, and it wasn't because of my students. I loved my class, but I did not have enough support as far as I didn't have a mentor teacher at my old site, and I felt like I was really struggling to learn the curriculum and teach it and make sure that my students were having the best learning opportunities that they could have. So I did switch schools, and at this site that I'm at now, I feel like I have a lot more support. I have a teacher who's in my grade level who has really worked with me to create lesson plans, and anytime that I may have issues or be unsure of how to teach something, she's always there to help me and give me tons of ideas and resources. So having a mentor teacher can really make the difference. The trainings, my district is really good about doing new teacher trainings. In the first year, it's every month, and then now I'm in my second year, so it's about every 6 weeks. And those trainings also focus in on different aspects that we need to be teaching in the classroom. And professional development, like Danielle was saying, the conferences are a really great way. If you know that there's a specific area you want to focus in on, like classroom management, you could go to a Kagan training or some other form of training that helps you in that specific area. So our summary, what is teacher retention? These are the questions that we had asked throughout our presentation. What is teacher retention? What is teacher shortage? How can we increase teacher retention? How is California impacted by the teacher shortage? And how can we manage the teacher shortage? And then along with our presentation, we posted a link to a survey that we created. And it's just a few questions that ask you how you're doing in your school district, if you feel like you have enough resources and if you feel like you are supported. It will just take a couple minutes. So if you could please click that link and go over to our survey. Thank you so much.
Thank you.